Hare. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari. Yashodanandana Bhaja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Bhaja Jana Ranjana. Yamunatira Manachari. Yamunatira Manachari. Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari. Yashodanandana Bhaja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Bhaja Jana Ranjana. Yamunatira Manachari. Yamunatira Manachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Cancer. Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 27th chapter, text 1. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Prakritista Api Purushaha Na Ajate Prakritai Gunai Avikarat Akartutvat Gunatvat Nirgunatvat Shala Arkavat Shri Bhagavan Vacha Prakritisto pi Purusho Najate Prakritaya Gunai Avikarada Kartatam Nirgunatvad Chalarkavat Shri Bhagavan Vacha Prakritistopi Purusho Najate Prakritaya Gunai Avikarada Karchutam Gunatvad Chalakarkavat Shri Bhagavan Vacha Kritistopi Purusho Najate Prakritaya Gunai Avikarada Karchutam Gunatvad Chalakarkavat
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prakritisto api purusho Najate prakartir gune Avikarada kartvatvam Nirguna tattvaj jalarkavat
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prakritistopi Purusho Najate Prakritar Gunai Avikarada Kartritvan Nirgunatva Shalarkavat
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prakritisto Pari Purusho Nate Prakritar Gunai Avikarada Kartvitwan Gunatva
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prakritisto pi Purusho Najate Prakritar Gunai Avikarada Kartritvan Nirgunatva Chalarkavat
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prakritisto pi Purusho Najyate Prakritar Gunai Avikarad Avartavan Nirgunatvad Jalarat Kavat
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prakritisto Pipurusho Najyate Prakritaya Gunai Avikarad Akartritvan Nuganatvad Jalakarvat Kavat
Shall we go online? Would you like to start?
Bhaktista residing in the material body. Api, although, Purusha, a living entity, Na, not, Ajite is affected, Prakritai of material nature, Gunahi by the modes, Avikarat from being without change, Akartritvat by freedom from proprietorship, Nirgunatvat from being unaffected by the qualities of material nature. Jala on water. Arkavat like the sun. Translation. Personality of Godhead. Gita. Continue. When the living entity is thus unaffected by the modes of material nature, because he is unchanging and does not claim proprietorship, he remains apart from the actions of the modes, although abiding in a material body, just as the sun remains aloof from its reflection on water. Purport.
In the previous chapter, Lord Kapila Dev has concluded that simply by beginning the discharge of devotional service, one can attain detachment and transcendental knowledge for understanding the science of God. Here, the same principle is confirmed. A person who is detached from the modes of material nature remains just like the sun reflected on water. When the sun is reflected on water, the movement of the water, or the coolness or unsteadiness of the water, cannot affect the sun. Similarly, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita, Bhagavatam 1.2.7. When one engages fully in the activities of devotional service, Bhakti Yoga, he becomes just like the sun reflected on water. Although a devotee appears to be in the material world, actually he is in the transcendental world. As the reflection of the sun appears to be on the water, but is many millions of miles away from the water, so one engaged in the Bhakti Yoga process is nirguna, or unaffected by the qualities of material nature. Avikara means without change. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that each and every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and thus his eternal position is to cooperate or to dovetail his energy with the Supreme Lord. That is his unchanging position. As soon as he employs his energy and activities for sense gratification, this change of position is called vikara. Similarly, even in this material body, when he practices devotional service under the direction of the spiritual master, he comes to the position which is without change, because that is his natural duty. As stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, liberation means reinstatement in one's original position. The original position is one of rendering service to the Lord, bhakti yogena, bhaktya. When one becomes detached from material attraction and engages fully in devotional service, that is changelessness. Akartritvat means not doing anything for sense gratification. When one does something at his own risk, there is a sense of proprietorship and therefore a reaction. But when one does everything for Krishna, there is no proprietorship over the activities. By changelessness and by not claiming the proprietorship of activities, one can immediately situate himself in the transcendental position in which one is not touched by the modes of material nature, just as the reflection of the sun is unaffected by the water.
Charina, Yogena Sumite, Virganan Samatiti Aitan, Ramabuyaya Kapite. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains. And one who engages in devotional service becomes transcendental to the modes of material nature because he's in a different sphere, he's in a different atmosphere. It may seem as though he's here, but actually he's not here, just like a nice example given. That the sun is reflected in the water. And it seems like there's a sun there. But the sun is not there. That's the only reflection of the sun. The sun is millions of miles away. Although it has some of the qualities of the sun, but not all the qualities. And it's not affected by whatever's going on in the water. If there's some dirt in the water, it doesn't affect the sun. It doesn't extinguish the sun. Similarly, the devotee, wherever he is, he's in the transcendental platform. Last night we were discussing where a devotee would be willing to go. Narayana parasarvena kashtashana bibite svargapavaga narakareshu. One moment. The devotee is equally situated in heavenly planets or in hellish planets. It doesn't matter to him because he's not trying to enjoy his sense gratification. It's like one on a picture on his wall. It may be a picture of a very cold place or maybe a picture of a hot place. But after all, it's only a picture, so it doesn't really have any cold or hot effect on the person. Similarly, if a devotee goes, if he's sent on a mission to the hellish worlds, he goes, like Narad Muni, he goes and he brings Krishna consciousness and distributes it. So although it may be considered not a very nice place to go, the hellish planets, but it becomes better than Vaikuntha. It becomes as good as the spiritual world. Because wherever Krishna is, the spiritual world is also there. He brings his Dham, the transcendental abode of the Lord comes with him. He doesn't go alone. And when the Lord comes with his domain, his Dham, his associates, his entourage, and the whole atmosphere becomes transcendental. It's like here on this planet, we have the good fortune that Lord Krishna appeared here only 5,000 years ago. And he brought his Dham with him, a portion of the Dham, and his entourage, and his pastimes. And the result is that anyone who comes in contact with any of these aspects, because the Lord is absolute, they get the absolute same benefit, same effect. And the effect is that one becomes purified of all contamination. Just by seeing the Lord, he's called all attractive. So anyone who sees him gets spiritual benefits. We were discussing recently about trying to arrange a discussion, a talk, with with a man who's a preacher of religion, and kind of with a twist, a New Age twist, how to feel good about everything, be happy. So we thought, what would we say? Well, what would we say that he doesn't know? He knows how to not be discouraged by losses and things, and how to take the bright side. But better than that is to know about Krishna. So we would just tell him about Krishna. What's so great about Krishna? That's what we tell him. Everything's great about Krishna. He's all attractive. He's all powerful. He's all opulent. He's all intelligent. He's all present. So many things. Everything about Krishna is great. He's the greatest. So why would we talk about anyone else? Because generally in Zero, we like to talk about ourselves. Or people that are like us, or we'd like to be like them. But we don't make so much progress that way. If we hear about Krishna, who's really great, and whose greatness is so powerful that it completely wipes out all inauspiciousness. Even if one is full of impurities, even if he's full of activities in the past that are not pious, impious activities, still he becomes free from that. Krishna says, Savdharmam prapadate. Savdharmam prapadate tang sataiva bidamam. Savdharmam prapadate. What is it? Mamekam saranam bhajam. Hang tang sarvapavebhyo. Mokshayishami mashacha. So mokshayishami mashacha means if one engages in my devotional service, if he surrenders to me, he'll be free from all sinful reactions. Immediately. Immediately when he surrenders, he's free. How's that? How can someone become free? Because he's so powerful. He has all power. And so if he decides to give a person freedom, like we have the example in different countries, they have like the leader of the country, he has some special powers that no one else has. He can give, for example, a pardon, yes. He can give a pardon to anyone for their activities, misdeeds. They may have been arrested and put in prison, but if he wishes to give them pardon, he can do that. He has that power. Now, if an ordinary person can free a man from spending the next 40 years in prison, then what can God do if he wants to forgive someone? He's a real forgiver. And if he's pleased with someone, he says he will give them freedom. He will free them from all reactions. And what does he want? Sarvadharmam parityajya amekam sharanam praja. Sharanam. He wants them to surrender to him. All they have to do is surrender. And then they're free. That's much easier than. And in the material world, trying to get freedom from past misdeeds more difficult. But it's given so easily by Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, also the incarnation or the origin of the incarnations of the Lord, he's even more magnanimous than Krishna himself. No Mahabharana, Namne Gora Tishino. He has the power to give. He's more munificent than anyone. He gives them relief. Whereas Lord Krishna, when he was present 5,000 years ago, his condition was, first of all, you surrender, and then I'll free you from your actions. This is Prabhupada's comparison, not mine. And then he says, but Lord Chaitanya says, you don't have to surrender, just take this mercy. Take the holy name, take Krishna. You don't have to surrender. Lord Chaitanya doesn't even require surrender. He'll give surrender. He'll give mercy to anyone who even hears his name. Even if they hear his name, they don't know what it means. Or they see the chanting party, they don't know what it means. Or they taste his prasadam. So this is why the Lord Chaitanya is so highly regarded by Rupa Goswami and the six Goswamis. Because there's never anyone been like this. He doesn't just give freedom, or shall we say, liberation. To be liberated means to be free from the modes of material nature. But to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya means, I guess, love of Godhead. And love of Godhead, not just any love of Godhead, but especially he gets the highest form of love of Godhead. Madhurya Ras. That is something extraordinary that most people don't even know that there is such a thing of different echelons of love of Godhead. Most people don't know how you can love God. But what is love of God? What does it involve? Yeah, it means complete surrender. One gives himself fully as a servant of Krishna. And then Krishna gives himself to the devotee. Therefore, it's very auspicious for everyone, and everyone should take it up. Every intelligent person should take the time and the opportunity to hear about Krishna and different Krishna avatars and devotional service. Then his life will be successful. He'll, after giving up this body, which everyone has to do, he'll become free from having to take birth again. That's what it means. He's free. He doesn't have any more duties here in the material world. He's free to go back to home, back to God. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for speaking this morning, Maharaj. On some of these last points that you're making about not just attaining love of God, but getting the topmost kind of love of God. It seems like such an abrupt transition from the sadhaka. We're practicing sadhaka bhakti, and we'll remain within that because that's how we stay protected. Yeah. But then we all of a sudden we make this jump. How does that happen, or what is the journey to get there is through our sadhana, but then what happens at the end of our life? We are just taken to that high, most exalted state of love of God so quickly.
Possible. Yeah. Yes, because there's Kripa Siddha, one who gets the mercy of the Lord or a great devotee. He can become Siddha, he can become perfect immediately, without any delay. Or Sadhana Siddha is by practicing devotional regular principles. He also attains it. That's the general way. But there's also the opportunity for that, Kripa Siddha. But if one is engaged in devotional service on the sadhana, and he makes progress. Just like if someone begins taking some lessons and learning to play some instruments, musical instruments. So in the beginning, it sounds not very good. Everyone closes the window. But if you become, after some time, you open the windows again. It sounds beautiful now. So, it says, yes, keep practicing. And if he's got a good teacher, a good instrument, and his body works well, he can hear okay. If he can't hear well, it's a problem. But if he has all these conditions are there, then there's a good chance he'll become a master musician. And it happens. So many examples of persons who, by association with devotees of the Lord, or by engaging in some devotional service, they get all these good benefits. And the proof is this movement. This movement, because Lord Chaitanya started this movement himself. First, the Krishna consciousness, eternal process. It's always going on. But Lord Chaitanya did make his appearance on earth only 500 odd years ago. That's not a very long time. Even when you consider one yuga, say one Chatur yuga means one set of 4 seasons. Seasons of such yuga means the golden age and the silver age, Chaita, Dwapara, Bronze age, Kalyuga. What's lower? Iron age. So there's these ages, and that takes 4.32 million years for one of those ages. Lord Chaitanya appeared only 500 years ago. And he only appears once in a day of Brahma. So we're so fortunate. We have Lord Chaitanya's direct, was walking on this sand, was swimming in this ocean. All the water is connected, the oceans. So he swam in the ocean, and we're also swimming in the ocean, breathing the same. So we're very fortunate. And if we take Krishna consciousness, take it seriously, then all the problems of life are finished. Life is a wonderful thing if we live it in Krishna consciousness. if we don't live it right, it's a horrible thing. Suffering all the time. You see some people that just seem to be perpetually suffering because they're determined not to surrender. But if they get the good association of the devotee, even though they don't want to surrender themselves, by that association they can become purified. Yeah.
So, thank you, Maharaj. So, we spoke about although abiding in a material body, so then he can become aloof. So, how do we recognize somebody that is aloof, though seemingly in a material body?
One who's, well, he has all good qualities. One who's engaged in devotional service. And he has all good qualities of the demigods. What is that verse? Yes, Bhakti Bhagavad Gita. Sarvagunai Tatis Masate Sura. Harava Bhakas Kutomahogana Manovertain Asato Davatos. He. And it means that one who is a devotee of the Lord, he has all good qualities of the Lord or the demigods. Because all good qualities come from Krishna. He's God. And those who closely associate with him, they acquire the same qualities. Isn't it just like if you go to a very fine school. When I was in England, they have some very old schools, real old school, like 900 years, 1200, going way back. And these schools have been going all these years. Very high quality of training. It means their etiquette is high quality, their learning is high quality. They have a lot of good qualities, and everyone knows it. So if you go to that school, you'll find that they have good qualities. Anyone who can get enrolled in that school is very fortunate because he'll get a chance to associate with those teachers, with that system, and with those students. So very good chance he'll get all those good qualities. And if he goes to another school, we know some other schools are not quite like that, where all kinds of misdeeds are performed all the time. And then you can't expect much from that association. So it's a question of association. All the good qualities will be there. It's like anyone who's ever met Prabhupada came kind of very impressed, unlimitedly impressed, depending on how fortunate they are, how much they appreciate. If they appreciate Prabhupada's qualities, then they get those qualities themselves by performing, by assisting him. Like if you have an expert carpenter, expert. So if you get to be his apprentice, if you become his assistant, he'll teach you. You'll learn all the tricks. You learn all the good qualities, how to cut, how to do everything just right. So a lot has to do. Yeah, he'll have all the good qualities. He'll be kind. There's 26 qualities. which are given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. I don't have them all memorized. You do? All right, go ahead.
He is kind, he is peaceful, he is gentle, he is surrendered to the Lord, he is confident in the Lord's protection, he's clean. I don't know how many that is.
That's 6.
6?
He doesn't eat more than required.
Doesn't eat more than required.
He's merciful.
He's poetic. He's silent. Mild. And there's 26 that are mentioned. And he has all those qualities. So if you meet someone with all those qualities, and you know this is a real devotee. Yeah. Okay? Another question?
Mention about people who meet such devotees, such as Prabhupada. If they are fortunate, then they appreciate, and because they appreciate, then they're impressed, or they imbibe the qualities that he has. So, if we don't appreciate the sadhu, then what hope is there for us?
If you don't appreciate the sadhu, what hope is there? Appreciate the sadhu. And if you can't appreciate the sadhu, then try to appreciate the assistant to the sadhu. It might be easier for you. Because sadhu's got such good, extraordinary qualities. You can't even imagine becoming like that. But if you meet one of his assistants, it won't be as impressive. I'm not saying you say it in a negative way. He won't be as extraordinary. But there'll be things about him that you'll appreciate very much. And you'll be able to appreciate. So that's why when someone comes to a sadhu and says, I'm a devotee of Krishna. That devotee doesn't appreciate that very much. No, don't claim to be a devotee of Krishna. Try to become the devotee of the devotee of the devotee of Krishna. Gopi Bhaktur Padakama, or Dasa, Dasa, Dasa. Become the servant of the servant of the servant. Because we can appreciate. Actually, even the servants have wonderful qualities. But there's so many examples, so many instances of how, for example, I met a devotee, old friend of mine, and he preached to me for an hour or 2. I was convinced to take up Krishna consciousness by that. And Prabhupada confirmed it in my initiation letter. He said, this devotee has actually saved you from the clutches of Maya. He's your real friend. So he was only 2 months in the movement. He hadn't learned everything. But what he learned was so impressive. His qualities were so impressive. Even that was all I could have taken. And if it had been some other way, it would have been difficult for me. Because I had nothing to compare to. If I could compare what he was before and what he is now, that was one thing. So, even if someone's a new devotee, let him go out and let people contact him. They'll be impressed. That's what's happening right now. The movement is spreading all over the world. Because every day people are coming in contact with devotees. And every day they're impressed by these qualities. So we have to get out there and spread Krishna consciousness. Try to give the science of Krishna to others. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad.